All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to LC Chess. This is game number 275. I am playing 1,000 games of chess, attempting to improve, stay consistent along the way. I post one game every single day. If that's something you would like to see, feel free to follow along. 1382 is our ELO. We follow up a 5-game win streak with a 3-game losing streak. Not playing well. Not playing well. I was thinking about it a little bit last night. It's almost like I think a common issue at this level is players go out, they find all these resources, and we try to get better. We look at YouTube videos, we read books, and we get all these ideas, all these principles and concepts that just congeal in our head. And we just have this massive information. And it's good that we have the information, but in terms of applying the information, I feel like there's no, at least for me personally, I feel like I have no dedicated plan, or I have no, other than like checks, captures, attacks. It's almost like the last concept I thought about is the one that I'm going to be looking at in my specific game, instead of this position calls for this certain concept or superseding principles that, you know, a 17 or 1800 might pick up on. But for me, it's just a massive information in my head. I'm kind of just playing, going along with the game, and trying to work through it from there. But we're working through it. It's a little frustrating, losing, winning, but I'm going to continue. I'm going to keep going till we get to 1,000 games, and then we'll see what happens from there. All right. Well, this is game 275. Let's get into it. Let's see if I can structure and organize my mess of thoughts today. Let's go c4. Give them the English, make them think a little bit in the opening. Right back to d4. I can immediately make them move their knight. Don't know if that's the greatest move, so let's just develop. I want to take a look at the end and see if d5 is good here. d5, take. Here, then they're attacking, but it's protected. I probably could have just pushed, and I can still probably just push. Let's push. Because it's protected, right? Let's reinforce the center, continue our development, and hopefully castle win the game. Only time will tell. All right, takes. Still have a queen protecting. I'm going to get my knight out anyway. I mean, that's just checkmate right there. If nothing happens, right? No longer checkmate. This doesn't work. What does the queen see? Not much. Not much. All right, let's get the... I could go real active with the bishop. The bishop actually can't be kicked from here. So let's do that. Bishop can't be kicked. If queen c5, I can bring my bishop and win a tempo. This is also looking juicy. I totally missed a fork right there. Yeah, I completely missed a fork right there. Oh, that's a shame. Those are the kind of misses that I've been having recently, and that's frustrating because that was a game-winning move right there, probably. Today's game is a 1370 from Indonesia. I've been playing a decent amount of Indonesian players recently. I don't know if it's the certain time that I'm playing in the morning or if there's an influx in Indonesian players, but for some reason it's been a decent amount. All right, my opponent is spending some time thinking, which I feel like is a good thing. If I push, this pawn is protected. I feel like I got to get this bishop out. Or the queen. Don't mind opening up the center here. Let's get the bishop out first. Don't want to do anything too crazy. This is protected. This is protected. But I mean, their king is not castled. They're behind on development. We have some nice central space. All of our pieces are out. This is another fork. Is it? Does it work? No, it doesn't, because they can just take. There's got to be something here, right? All right, let's take a pawn. Let's line up our knight or our rook with the queen. I feel like that's a good move. Let's go here. Plenty of options. Unfortunately, they are all trades. The queen is going to have to move. Question is, where does it go? Ooh, my opponent hangs their queen. That's nice. This pawn is not under attack. Now we have to be accurate. This pawn is under attack now, but my knight is hanging. Let's try not to lose my knight. Let's go here. So we're up a queen. We have pretty even time. So now we should be looking for trades. All trades are good for us. Let's back up. Don't want to do anything too stupid. But that is my forte. This is clean, right? This forces a trade of knights. They're going to have to defend. Let's push a pawn here. Can bring my knight. Look for something like this, maybe. Can't go here because of the rook. Yeah, let's do that. This also attacks the knight at the same time, and that would be a check as well. This is still under attack. Now the rook is under attack. All right. I think we do a good job of getting some pieces off the board there. So we have, I can actually just take this really, if I want to simplify, like seriously simplify. I mean, we're up a queen, right? Do I want to get, I don't know if I want to get that greedy. Let's just get our, I probably could have just protected that. I don't know why I didn't just protect that. Not the smartest move. So let's take here and attack this pawn once the bishop moves. Worry about back rank here. Back rank's the issue. I think I might just take a bishop here. I might just take this bishop, make this game a little bit easier, hopefully. They're probably going to play that. That's fine. This is protected. And I am going to make myself a getaway. Let's attack this bishop. Their king is also in danger of back rank checkmate, so they're going to have to find a way to defend against that. I'm safe now. They don't have a dark square bishop, so my king can always run here. If they win a pawn, I win a bishop. I think my next move is probably queen b5, depending on where this bishop goes. I also may have a mate here myself. No, because the rook. Here. Back. Don't think I have any sort of checkmate. I actually didn't see that move at all. Let's bring the king here, attack both these pieces. I think this is forced. I think this is forced mate. My opponent can go back with a bishop. I can either take or I may have smothered mate. I think I would have smothered mate at that point, which we would have to play, right? This bishop's hanging. A little bit trickier than I anticipated. If they take this pawn, I have a fork which wins the rook. Oh, why did I think that I had a check there? I don't have a check here. I thought I could come here and win the bishop, but I am completely wrong. And my opponent's going to get a free tempo out of that. Yeah, that was terrible. Let's go here so I have it on the next move. I don't know why I thought that I could just go. I could have went here and won the bishop. I don't know why I thought I had to go to d8. This check, I win the rook. This check, I win the rook. And then they protect against it, which is unfortunate for me. I can go here. There's definitely an easier way to do this. I think I'm just going to go after these pawns. Yeah, I'm going to go after these pawns. Got to be worried about this fork. Knight here protects. This wins the bishop. Let's do that. Bishop can go back, but the knight can take. Definitely better than a pawn. Props to my opponent for putting up a serious fight after losing a queen for zero compensation. I'm only up a point of material here. Hopefully I can defend, but we're gonna need to find out. This was also a fork I could have played. I played a little bit too quickly there. Let's give this check. If they push this pawn, I'll have a fork. Here I'll go here, and then we will push, or my opponent will. If they take, I take the rook. If they push, I take the pawn. Or they give a check. If they go here, I take the pawn. Ooh, that was a smart move. This is a check. Oh my gosh, why did I think that I was fine there? Wow. Oh my gosh. Wow, what a nice find. Hopefully we can win somehow. This game has gotten super duper dicey. This is just how I've been playing recently has not been great. Let's get the knight over. Hopefully my opponent does not win my queen. That would be unfortunate. this is probably the best way to do things. Let's not accidentally get mated here. All right, so we managed to win on time. A little bit dicier than it needed to be. Props to my opponent. I mean, wow, what a fight. They put up a serious fight, gave me nothing but trouble that entire time. I'm super, super impressed. I thought when I win material like that, my brain turns into autopilot, and I think it's just going to be an easy conversion. I played terribly. I actually lost a couple times. Well, I blundered a draw, and then I blundered a loss at one point, which is super, super frustrating. Let's take a look. 2 blunders and a miss. We do have a win here. Can push this pawn, force my opponent here, and then this pawn is just going to be a menace, and we're going to be able to protect it, bring some pieces. Yeah, I mean, from this position, I should see a push there. I should also see a fork. Should also see a fork here. And that's not even the best move. It's not even the best move to play this fork. Why is that? My opponent have... No, they just have to lose the knight. Knight b5. Why is knight b5 better? Knight b5, I have this fork that trades a knight for a rook. I'm sure there's a better way forward here. 5.1 advantage by white. Knight c7, forking. Bishop e3. Bishop e3 to go bishop b6. Not even taking the rook. Yeah, I mean, that just would have been crushing there. I have a super nice advantage that I don't take advantage of. I thought the bishop here was fine. I mean, it's perfectly fine with Stockfish. I'm up. I have a nice advantage. Castling here is a little slow. Stockfish wants me to push a little quicker. And I finally take after my opponent develops this knight because I don't want them to castle. Play a couple best moves here. My opponent hangs their queen. And then from this point, it should be smooth sailing, right? Stockfish says for the most part it was, except for a few misses. But yeah, probably should have just traded the rook here. If I trade the rook here, they have a rook and a bishop. We're down a pawn, but we're up a queen. That's definitely the easiest way to go there. I wanted to keep my last rook on the board for a little bit, but I end up deciding to sacrifice it. And this was a blunder here. This was a blunder here. Why was this a blunder? What am I missing? Bishop can't take the rook because the king is under attack. Oh, there's a fork. There's a fork. That's definitely a blunder. Yep. All right. Missed that. That was a big miss. I would have lost a rook there for nothing. And then from this point, my opponent does a really, really nice job. I did not catch that the bishop could come down to g2 and take this pawn. That's actually a huge miss by me because it's that this is a pretty important piece in my defense. Yeah, I need to be able to see that. Oh, and I have mate in 3 here. I thought I had some kind of checkmate around here. I do. I have mate in 3 here that I missed. Um, I play it so wrong. I need to lead with the knight. For some reason I thought the king was getting away, but it's not. It's not getting away. The knight can back up because the king would be in a discovered check once the knight moves. So if the knight goes to h7, discovered check on the king has to move. If you go here, you get mated. If you go here, you get mated. Completely miss that. These are the kind of things that I'm missing right now. Instead, I lead with the queen. I do it incorrectly. I win a pawn. And right here, I can win a bishop. Right here, I can win a bishop. Why did I think I could win the bishop? I can win the bishop if I go here. Yes. Okay. That's how I can win the bishop. For some unknown reason, I played queen d8, which I can't come back because the pawn protects the square and the bishop is free. This way, super, super upsetting. Let's see. I played decent until I win the bishop here. And I had this fork. I should have just played this fork. I saw it as soon as I took the bishop. Yeah, it would have been way easier to convert. And then I actually do blunder a large amount right here as well. I push this pawn, which isn't great. My opponent gives a check, and I need to go this way. That's actually really nice board vision right there. I go up, and my opponent can take, and they're protected by this pawn that just took. They couldn't take on the previous move because the queen would take. But if they go up a square, even if I back up, they're protected. So either way, super nice board vision there. I wish I had that. All right, here, my opponent wins my queen, and that's game over. Completely missed that. I thought I was doing a good job at blocking any of those forks or skewers. I was wrong. I was wrong. But in their time scramble, they still have a minute left. They could definitely convert in a position like that. They don't find it. But that was really, with all the king and queen moves that I made in that game, in that end game there, I think that I did a decent job only allowing one skewer. Usually I give my opponents multiple chances to win. That time was not the case. I want to know what the sequence here would be to win the game. King here. And if they give another check, here. And if they give another check. Now there's no more checks. This is protected, however. But they have to move their rook. Best move? Best move. There is a better move. Take a look at the analysis. Best move's here, attacking the rook, forcing it to move. And there's a mate and 3 in this position. I can take this with the knight. Not sure if that's part of the mate sequence. It is not. Queen d7. Then you have to sack the rook. And then from here, yeah, checkmate. All right. You can push a pawn, that's mate. All right. So that would have been the way to get to mate there. A takeaway from this game, let's see what kind of takeaway we had. So we win a queen. I think I just need to focus. Here's my takeaway. When up material, never take your foot off the gas. Never assume your opponent's going to give up. I guess my subconscious says that I win a queen, I'm going to win the game. That is not the case. And obviously it wasn't the case. These 2 blunders right here show that could have easily lost this game. This is just a lapse in judgment on my part. I need to be better in these situations. Up material, it's like it should be easy. It should be easy, but it doesn't. It should be easy to convert the position. Doesn't mean that it's going to be easy to beat your opponent. I don't really know where I'm going with that, but my words have been all over the place today. Just when you're up material, keep your foot on the gas. That's going to be my takeaway for this one, because my opponent had some really nice opportunities, and they honestly did the best that they probably could do with counterplay after losing a queen. Super, super nice job by them. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. I'm going to get out of here. I hope you guys have a good day. Have a good one. Be safe. Until next time. All right.